Hello and welcome to Sunday Sanctuary with Sarah. Today our theme is putting yourself first. And I just thought that I'd do it a little bit differently. I don't know about you, but I have had a really busy weekend. It's been wonderful. I've had one of my cousins staying and doing lots of lovely things. But I was thinking before recording this, oh, I'd like to do a grounding meditation for myself. And I thought, well, I might as well do it on here with you. So we're going to do that first and then see what arises after the meditation with regards to putting yourself first. So putting ourselves first and our needs, let's go inward and let's forge a sense of safety in our bodies and calm on this lovely Sunday. So if I can invite you to just find a comfortable place, you can put this on pause. Light yourself a candle if you want to, as a sign of respect for yourself and your time to yourself, dedicated to yourself. Get a blanket if you need. Put the kettle on so you can have a nice cuppa afterwards or before. And just find a nice place to relax, either on the sofa, can lie down on your bed, in a chair. And I just invite you to close your eyes. And just start to land in the room that you're in. Arrive in your body. Can imagine you might have been here, there, and everywhere, thinking of past things, thinking of things coming up next week or next month, whenever in the future it might be. But now just imagine that you're pulling all of your attention and all of the energy that you've sent out everywhere today. You're going to bring it all back into the room that you're sitting or lying in, and all back into your body, almost like claiming all of that energy that you've sent out. Pull it back into yourself so that all of your attention, all of your focus is now with you. And feel yourself full up with your own attention from the tips of your toes to the top of your head. Perhaps just rubbing your fingertips against your thumbs. You can just remind yourself, this is my body. Because what we're doing is we're just going to develop a practice of grounding, coming into the body so that we're not always in thoughts. So we're not living in thoughts, but we're actually in our body and feeling into our body. So we're just feeling our fingertips against our thumbs. Feel the texture of your fingertips. And perhaps you can detect the temperature. Mine feel quite cold at the moment, the chill in this room. What about you? What can you feel around your face? Maybe suddenly you become aware of the temperature of your nose in the room that you're in. Maybe you can sense that it's cold, or maybe it feels nice and warm. Now just focusing on your toes again. Just give them a little bit of a wiggle. And sense into how your feet feel right now. Maybe you notice that they might be a bit tired, or maybe they feel invigorated. Just give them a wiggle. And starting right at the top of your head, I want you to start relaxing your forehead. See if you can relax your eyes. And then the back of your head. Maybe you'll feel tingling. Just noticing that. See if you can relax your jaw a little bit more. Notice if you're holding any tension. And then just moving down to your neck. Give your shoulders a little bit of a roll. See if you can relax them a little bit more. Feeling more and more relaxed and in your body. I want you to travel down your arms. See if you can relax your arms a little bit more. See if you can soften a little bit more. Moving down your chest, your abdomen. Relaxing more as you focus on these areas of your body. Down to your hips, pelvis, thighs. Going down to your knees. And any area that you might feel any tension, tightness, or even pain. Just consciously breathe into that area. Sending more energy to that area, more of your attention. Moving down your calves. Moving your attention into your feet. Feeling more and more relaxed. Bringing your attention to what is underneath you. Feel the solidity of what is underneath you, whether that's your chair, your bed, sofa. And I'd love to remind you that whatever you're sitting on is sitting upon the floor of the building in which you're in. And the building that you're in is resting on the earth. And as I say that, I would just invite you to think about how the earth has always been underneath you, has always kept you safe, has always provided for you. And if you're sitting on a chair, just feel your feet connected to the floor, which is connected to the building, which is connected to the earth. You can really feel a sense of safety arising from this realization. And in this moment, in your body, in this moment, you are safe and you are well. You are safe and you are well. You are safe and you are well. And with that realization, just open up your eyes and come back into the room. And I hope that you will feel more here. more here with me. And perhaps you can sense into the difference of before that kind of grounding meditation and now. Notice the difference. Notice how you may feel that you're really in your body as opposed to just flying up there somewhere in so many thoughts. And I would really encourage you to practice this every single day. Perhaps in the morning would be a really good way to start your day, so that you're starting your day in your body and not caught up there in your mind. And if you can only make 5 minutes to do that, like a body scan, then that's a really great commitment to start with. 10 minutes, better, okay. But, think about your time, what you have available, and just fit that in for you so that you can start your day with a grounded sense in yourself, a more calm place to start your day, not like letting the day start controlling you immediately as soon as you wake up, like, no, but you starting to take control of how you feel and starting your day with some presence and intention. I chose putting yourself first as a theme for today because I think that it's the most important thing to implement on the healing journey and the journey to living your truth. So being your true self and living your true path. Often, which is very common, is that people that don't put themselves first are people pleasers. And before we become people pleasers, we were parent pleasers. And our parents were also probably people pleasers and parent pleasers. So it's just something that's been passed on. I think if you had a parent who really knew who they were, who lived as their true self, and were true and therefore truthful, then you would have had a really great example of how to be authentically yourself as well. But most of us didn't have that example. So I think one of the ways you know that you are a people pleaser is you will begin to feel a sense of resentment in your relationships, whether that be with close friends or in intimate relationships with your boss. And the reason why is because you're not in integrity. If you've lived your whole life people pleasing, then you're not pleasing yourself first. So you're out of alignment. There's like two of you. There's this one, which is the true you, and then there's this other you that you've created to keep everybody happy, so that you don't have to feel discomfort from speaking your truth out there to the world and risking making people feel bad, disappointing them, which ultimately you have to feel that too, right? Like a disappointment and guilt and shame. So we avoid feeling those things by people pleasing. But by doing that, we are not in integrity with ourselves and we are letting ourselves down. So in Martha Beck's book, The Way of Integrity, she writes, "It's simple logic. If you don't walk your true path, you don't find your true people. You end up in places you don't like, learning skills that don't fulfill you, and adopting values and customs that feel wrong. If you feel persistently disconnected and lonely, you're almost certainly out of integrity, people pleasing. This goes double if you feel trapped with people you absolutely can't stand. You have been sleepwalking And therefore, others that you meet have also been sleepwalking. And the relationships created tend to be shallow, toxic, or both. These kind of friendships and love affairs, and even familial bonds, are rife with misunderstanding, hurt feelings, and mutual exploitation. And over the long run, they tend to crumble into sketchy foundations, leaving only hurt feelings behind. So, how can we get back on track? How can we start to put ourselves first? I would say that it would be at a point of necessity. So, you will be taken to such a place of suffering that you will have no choice. So, if you're not there yet, let life take you to that point. Or you can just use this and start implementing some of these ideals. I think, firstly, if I think back to myself and when I was kind of realizing this, I might just use an example. I was beginning to feel very resentful in my relationships, in friendships, my intimate relationship with my husband, and work, just all over the board. I was just beginning to feel like people were really taking advantage of my good nature. I felt like whatever I gave wasn't given in any sense, but just taken for granted. So I was a victim. I had resentment and I had a victim mentality. And what I realized now was that I was people pleasing all around me. So, for instance, I can mention a friendship. I made a friendship back in the day, and it was a drinking buddy. We always went out and got very, very drunk together. And the dynamics were, she would just talk at me, I would listen. Whenever I tried to say anything, it was taken into what she had experienced, and then you could go all night and just listen. Whenever I left this particular, but she was a lovely person, really, really sweet, like really big heart. But this was just the dynamic that was set at the beginning. And I was a good listener, but also I was kind of hoping that she would appreciate my kindness, like my nature, and return it. But that wasn't the case. She would just go off, and knowing that I was one big ear, just speak about her life and everything to do with her. And I allowed it until there was one particular moment. She called me when I was leaving my house one day. I walked 20 minutes to a supermarket. I did a full shop. I walked all the way home, and it must have been about an hour, and she still hadn't asked how I was. She was still just talking. And I said, I've got to go now. And I literally put the phone down, and I felt so angry. I was like, oh my God, she's so fucking selfish. And I just felt so uncared for. But you see, what I realized now was that it was my fault, because I had allowed that for so long. I had overridden my own feelings for so long, not just in that friendship, but in many different areas. And I had got myself to feeling that feeling. And when I suffered enough in other areas too, that brought me to speaking therapy and coaching. And that's when I started to reflect. First of all, I had to suffer enough. And then that made me start reflecting on how I became who I was. And I want to pose some questions for you. I found that I was waffling on the video series last week, my first one. And that's okay. It was my first one. And it went on a bit too long. It was like 40 minutes. And the ideal behind these videos is just for it to be a little bit more punchy. So to have like a really nice guided meditation to help us all to ground, and to come away from like this busy thinking monkey brain, to come into the body, and to carve out more of a sense of safety each week and self-trust, and then to spend 10-15 minutes with something that is relevant for all of us and will help all of us, but just to make it like 10 minutes, so in total 20 to 25 minutes. So with that being said, if you've got a notebook, that would be really handy at this point, or you can just listen and just ponder. But I think it would help to, you can always stop this video and you can go and grab a notebook, and you can do it at your leisure. But these are questions posed again in Martha Beck's book, The Way of Integrity, Finding the Path to Your True Self. And I think that as a first step, this would be helpful. You're not going to be able to stop being a people pleaser overnight. But the way that you can help yourself is to start reflecting on your behavior. And this will just offer you insights. And something magical happens when you start to slow down and make space for yourself to turn inwards and start kind of reflecting on yourself and your life. Memories will start to pop up. It's almost as though your internal furniture starts rearranging itself to form a more harmonious room inside. So wonderful things will happen on your journey. People will come in with examples, and the most beautiful synchronicities will occur, and they will all happen because of your intention to transform. And that comes from a very pure place, right? Because mostly it's coming from also a place of suffering. And so they're two sides of the same coin, really. So trust your journey. Trust that as you start to reflect and start to turn inwards, things will start to occur in your life that will also help you along as well. Now, I'm just going to ask you some questions to reflect on. This will help you. So the first one is, do you ever hang out with people that you don't truly enjoy? Who are they? So just write a list. Do you consistently make yourself do anything or many things you don't really want to do? Make a list. Are there things you do solely out of fear that not doing them will upset someone or lower your value in someone else's eyes? What are they? And are there times in your daily life where you're consistently pretending to be happier or more interested than you really are? And in what areas do you tend to do this? So in relationships, job activities, or different places? The schoolyard, for one. And do you ever say things you know aren't true, or things you don't really truly mean? And what are they? So again, like, we're not solving this issue overnight, but this will just help you to start reflecting on your behavior and starting to get some kind of an understanding of where you're not putting yourself first, where you're not honoring your own wants and needs, and reflect on what relationships make you feel resentful. Where are you feeling resentment in your life? And quite frankly, where are you feeling like a victim? Putting yourself first, you will find that it will end some relationships in your life. Because if you think about it, when you start relationships from being a people pleaser mentality, you're going to benefit other people. And when you start changing that behavior, you're going to disappoint people and they will let you know. And if they truly care about you and your innate happiness, they will honor that. And the ones that don't, you will find that they will fall away. If I just like look at my own journey in that, it made me, have different friendships, different work. I have the same husband for now, but in many ways I don't, because our relationship completely did a 180 because of my transformation and later his. So things evolve, things change. And what I do find now is that the people that I meet, like new friendships that I've made in the last 7 years, they put themselves first too. And so the friendships are very, very pure and true. And we really understand each other. And it feels very beautiful. That expression, finding like-minded people. I feel that that's what I did before. I met like-minded people in terms of, our mindsets. And now I feel I meet like-hearted people. And I feel that there's a very big difference because it's felt. It's a felt connection. And I feel very blessed for my journey that it's taking me to meet, more of my people. And that will happen to you as well. And not only will you meet more of your people, but your whole life will start to reflect your feelings inside, your true feelings inside. And I hope that you'll continue the meditation, be that a 10-minute meditation or 5-minute meditation each morning, just to ground yourself and set yourself up for the day. And I will see you next time. If you have any questions about what I've covered in this session, if you'd like to have a chat with me to see how we can work together further to explore some of these issues, then you can contact me at the link in my bio. And have a fab week, and I'll see you next Sunday.